Hello and welcome to Graduation to Revalidation, Chapter 2, Part 2. So Chapter 2 is all about teamwork and Part 2 is about teamwork during an emergency situation. During an emergency situation, it's really important that you have an organised team and that you work together, because this will help alleviate so much of the stress and the worry from these situations. They're always scary, especially when they come unexpectedly, but if your team work very well together and you work in a very logical and strategic manner, then you can really make a difference for your patient, and it really helps the way you respond to the emergency. Of course, it's all very well and good for me telling you this, and every emergency situation is different. When you're caught up in the moment, you can kind of get a little bit lost with it. But if you stay within your team and everyone has their own role within a team, then you'll work really well and you'll make the best outcome for your patient, whatever that outcome is. Particularly when you're newly qualified, emergency situations will terrify you, and it doesn't get any less scary the more qualified you are, especially if it's not something that you see very often. I'm still terrified of being in these situations. It's only something I've been involved in once or twice, but every time it has really scared me, and I've kind of learned that there's one of two ways that you'll act if you're in this situation. Number one, you will snap instantly into gear and you'll know exactly what to do, or number two, you will just freeze and wait to be given directions by whoever takes charge of the situation. Whichever one of these is fine. If you're somebody that just jumps in and cracks on, then that's really good. If you're somebody that stands and waits to be told what to do, then that's good. As long as everyone doesn't stand and wait to be told what to do, someone has to actually take charge of the situation. So in order to ensure that an emergency situation does run as smoothly as it possibly can, you need to work within a team, and this is probably one of the times when working as a team is the most important for your entire career and everything that you're going to do within nursing. You'll have had training on emergencies as a student, and you'll definitely have a lot more training when you qualify. Like I'm sent on yearly basic life support training and paediatric life support training, and you do that every year, so you do keep up to date with your skills, and if it's something that you do often, so if you work in an A&E or if you work somewhere that often has emergencies, then you will keep up with your skills, but that doesn't ever mean to say that it's ever any easier, and the more you do of them, the more, I guess, confident you get with them, but that still doesn't make it easier to deal with. I recently worked a shift where we had an emergency situation that was really different to any other kind of emergency that I'd ever been involved in before. I've had so many study days in what to do in an emergency situation and dealing with it, and you practice on mannequins and you work as a team, but I was really surprised actually at how unprepared I felt when it was happening in real life. And I did have a brief moment of thinking, I don't know what to do, and I kind of froze, but the nurse in charge had already just snapped into action, and she was at the head of the bed and she was just telling everybody what to do, and working as part of that team really helped, alongside the doctors of course, really helped highlight to me the importance of teamwork and how valuable it is. The nurse in charge who was leading the situation was so calm and so logical, and she was just amazing, and that helped everybody else to do the same, and we very quickly stabilised the patient, and he made a full recovery pretty much within hours. So it did highlight to me the importance of working well as a team, and showed me what kind of outcome you can have when you do this in a really logical way. And it really kind of hit home to me how important good teamwork is, especially when supporting each other. So after the situation had kind of ended and the patient was stable and we could all kind of step away from it and have a little bit of a debrief amongst ourselves, and it really highlighted to me the importance of working as a good team. And I was really proud of us, and my colleagues are amazing, and I actually felt so proud of us in that moment. It was quite a lovely feeling, once of course we knew that the patient was fine. So having a supportive team is really important, particularly in the aftermath of an emergency, especially if the outcome isn't so good. Having a good debrief if it's a traumatic emergency situation, or if it's something that came really unexpected, or just even in general life, emergencies are scary, so having a good debrief is really important, and this is where working as a team comes in so well. You can support each other, you've all been there, you were all there at the time, so you can all draw on each other's experiences, you can talk to each other. There's always going to be more senior and more junior nurses, and it's such a roller coaster of emotions, and it will just bring you closer together as a team. Talking things through with your colleagues is extremely important after an emergency situation, so it is really important that you do this sort of thing. And you need to kind of discuss it and get it out of your system. You may not feel like doing this straight away, but at some point in the aftermath of an emergency you really will need to, and it's really important that you do that, because it will help you come to terms with what's happened, and it will help you learn sort of what to do next time if there was something that you did really well, or something that you might have done differently in the next emergency that you're involved in. So debriefs within your team are really important ways to end a shift that's had an emergency situation, and it really will highlight to you the importance of working within a team, and it helps you really value your team members and your colleagues and help you realise that you are an awesome team. So that's all from Graduation to Revalidation Chapter 2 Part 2. Tune in 2 weeks' time for Chapter 3 Part 1, which is all about patient relationships. See you then. Bye!